You don't fail because you lack talent. You fail because you lack one small habit practiced every single day. My dear friends, many of you are intelligent, capable, and full of dreams. Yet at night, when the world becomes quiet, a question troubles your heart. Why am I working so hard yet not moving forward? You scroll, you compare, you worry, and slowly, without realizing it, life starts running on autopilot. Today, I want to talk to you about one habit, just one, that can quietly, gently, but powerfully 10 times your success. Not overnight, not magically, but meaningfully. Let us begin with the first truth, and I want you to listen to this, not with your ears, but with your life. Most people believe success is loud. They think it announces itself. They think it comes with applause, followers, certificates, and validation. But real success is very quiet. It is built when nobody is clapping for you. It is shaped when nobody even knows your name. It grows in moments when you could easily choose comfort, but you choose commitment instead. Think about a seed. Before it ever becomes a tree, it spends a long time underground. No sunlight, no appreciation, just darkness, pressure, and patience. If the seed complained, "Nobody sees me," it would never become a tree. In the same way, your growth begins in places where nobody is watching. Early mornings, late nights, private discipline, silent sacrifices. We live in a world that celebrates results but ignores the process. We applaud the medal, not the years of practice. We admire the confidence, not the self-doubt that was overcome. We envy the success, not the consistency behind it. That is why many people chase visibility instead of value. But let me tell you something very honestly. If you work only when people are watching, you will stop when they stop watching. And they always stop watching. True success is built when you show up even when nobody expects you to. When you keep your promises to yourself. When you do the right thing, even if it brings no immediate reward. There is a deep spiritual principle here. Life rewards sincerity, not noise. God notices effort long before the world notices results. Many young people ask, "Why am I working so hard and nothing is happening?" But something is happening. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming sharper. You are becoming disciplined. The problem is not that growth is not happening. The problem is that growth is happening quietly. Silence is uncomfortable for us because silence has no validation, no likes, no comments, no applause. But silence is where character is formed. When you wake up early and nobody knows, when you read, reflect, and improve quietly, when you control your emotions instead of reacting impulsively, when you choose consistency over convenience, these moments don't look successful, but they are building success. Discipline does not announce itself. It whispers, and only those who stay long enough can hear it. Many people wait to feel motivated, but motivation is unreliable. Some days it comes, many days it doesn't. Success never asks you, "Are you motivated today?" Success asks, "Are you committed today?" Commitment means showing up even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. This is where most people fall behind. Not because they are incapable, but because they underestimate the power of quiet consistency. A river cuts through rock not because it is powerful once, but because it is persistent every day. Your small daily actions may feel insignificant, but they are shaping your future more than big occasional efforts. What you do daily matters more than what you do occasionally. What you practice privately defines how you perform publicly. And remember this, the spotlight comes after the discipline, never before it. If you chase the spotlight first, You will burn out, break down, or become empty inside. But if you chase growth, integrity, and discipline, the spotlight will eventually find you. And even if it doesn't, you will still have something far more valuable: inner peace. So don't rush visibility. Don't be discouraged by slow progress. Don't abandon your effort just because it is unseen. The world may not notice your struggle, but life always notices sincerity. Keep building in silence. Keep showing up when it's hard. Keep doing the small things with great love. Because one day, people will call it overnight success, and you will smile quietly, knowing it was built one silent day at a time. Most people live their entire lives on autopilot. They wake up tired, they rush through the day, they sleep exhausted, and then they repeat the same cycle again and again. Busy, but not progressing. Moving, but not growing. Why does this happen? Because life is not just lived forward, it is understood backward. And if you never pause to understand, you will keep repeating. The one daily habit that transforms ordinary people into wise, grounded, successful human beings is self-reflection. Not overthinking, not self-blame, but honest, gentle reflection. Just a few quiet minutes every day. Reflection is the space where life speaks to you. But most people are too distracted to listen. We live in a noisy world, phones buzzing, opinions shouting, expectations pulling us in every direction. And in all this noise, we lose touch with the most important person, ourselves. Reflection brings you back. It is the moment you sit with yourself and ask simple, powerful questions. What did I do right today? Where did I react instead of responding? What did today try to teach me? These questions don't judge you, they guide you. A life without reflection is like driving a car without looking at the road. You may be moving fast, but eventually you will crash. Reflection gives direction. Think about it. Two people can go through the same experience. One grows wiser, the other grows bitter. What is the difference? Reflection. Experience alone does not teach. Experience plus reflection creates wisdom. Many people grow older but not wiser. They accumulate years, not understanding. That is why age alone does not guarantee maturity. Awareness does. When you reflect daily, something beautiful happens. You stop blaming the world for everything. You stop playing the victim in your own story. You begin to take responsibility, not responsibility with guilt, responsibility with empowerment. You realize I can't control everything that happens to me, but I can control how I respond. This awareness is powerful. Reflection also helps you notice patterns. Why do I get irritated with the same kind of people? Why do I repeat the same mistakes in relationships? Why do I lose discipline at the same time every year? Without reflection, patterns control you. With reflection, you control patterns. And when patterns change, life changes. People often say, I don't have time to reflect, but they have time to regret. Reflection saves you from future pain. Just 10 minutes of reflection today can save you years of suffering tomorrow. Spiritually, reflection is a form of prayer. It is a conversation between your actions and your conscience. You don't need fancy words. You need honesty. Sit quietly, breathe. Review your day like a loving teacher, not a harsh judge. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge mistakes. Forgive yourself. Commit to doing slightly better tomorrow. This habit creates clarity, and clarity is confidence. Confident people are not those who know everything, they are those who know themselves. Reflection also builds humility. It reminds you that you are still learning, still growing, still becoming. At the same time, it builds courage because you start seeing how far you've already come. Many people underestimate themselves because they never pause to notice their progress. Reflection reminds you, I am not who I was last year. I have learned something. I have survived something. And that builds faith. Faith that life is guiding you. Faith that growth is happening even when it feels slow. My dear friends, if you want to 10 times your success, don't just work harder, work wiser, and wisdom begins with reflection. A few minutes a day, a quiet mind, an honest heart, that's all it takes to turn experience into growth and effort into direction. Most people think they are stuck because life is unfair, because people are against them, because circumstances are difficult. But very often the real reason is simpler and harder to accept. They are repeating what they have never reflected on. Life is a very patient teacher. It will repeat the lesson until you learn it. If you keep facing the same problems in different forms, it is not bad luck. It is unlearned wisdom. You may change cities, change jobs, change relationships, even change goals. But if you don't change your patterns, the same pain will fin you again. Different faces, same lesson. This is why reflection is so powerful. It interrupts unconscious repetition. Without reflection, we live in reaction mode. Someone says something, we react. Something goes wrong, we react. Pressure increases, we react. And reactions are usually driven by old habits, old wounds, and old fears. Reflection creates a pause between stimulus and response, and in that pause lies freedom. When you don't reflect, emotions control you. When you reflect, you learn to observe emotions without becoming them. Think about anger. Many people say, that's just how I am, but that's not personality, that's unexamined behavior. Reflection asks, why did this trigger me? What am I protecting? What fear is hiding behind this reaction? These questions are uncomfortable, but discomfort is the doorway to growth. If you don't ask these questions, life will ask them for you, through pain. The same applies to failure. Some people fail and quit, others fail and learn. The difference is reflection. Failure without reflection becomes bitterness. Failure with reflection becomes wisdom. Reflection doesn't mean dwelling on mistakes, it means extracting lessons. When a child touches fire, the lesson is not pain. The lesson is awareness. Pain is a teacher, but reflection is the understanding. This is why people keep making the same mistakes in money, relationships, health, and career. They experience consequences, but they don't reflect on causes. They ask, why is this happening to me? Instead of asking, what is this teaching me? Life doesn't punish. Life instructs. And reflection is how you read the instruction manual. There is a deep spiritual truth here. God doesn't shout instructions. He whispers lessons. If you don't listen to whispers, life increases the volume. Small discomfort becomes big crisis. Reflection keeps the volume low. It allows you correct your direction early. Instead of waiting for a breakdown, many people wait for a wake-up call. But reflection allows you to wake up gently. When you reflect daily, you start noticing early warning signs. Your energy dipping, your discipline slipping, your values being compromised. You catch yourself before life has to stop you. And this is how success multiplies. Not by avoiding mistakes, but by learning from them faster. Wise people are not those who never fall. They are those who fall once and learn for life. Reflection turns every experience, good or bad, into progress. Without it, even blessings can become traps. Success without reflection leads to arrogance. Comfort without reflection leads to laziness. Praise without reflection leads to ego. Reflection keeps you grounded. It reminds you, I am growing, but I am still learning. I am doing well, but I can do better. And that balance is powerful. So if you want your future to be different from your past, don't just hope for change. Reflect for change. Sit with yourself, be honest, be kind, be brave enough to look within. Because the moment you stop repeating old patterns, life opens new doors. Something that sitting quietly with yourself will make you overthink. That reflection will make you anxious. Looking inward will make you weak. But the opposite is true. Reflection does not create fear. Noise creates fear. Stillness creates faith. When life moves fast and answers are unclear, the mind panics. But when you slow down and observe, the heart settles. Reflection is not about replaying everything that went wrong. It is about recognizing how much you have already survived. When you reflect honestly, you begin to see a pattern not of failure, but of resilience. You remember moments when you thought, I won't make it, and yet, here you are. Reflection connects you to gratitude. And gratitude is the foundation of faith. Faith does not come from knowing the future. Faith comes from trusting the journey. When you reflect, you notice that even your difficult days taught you something. Even delays protected you from something. Even disappointments redirected you towards something better. Without reflection, we label experiences as good or bad. With reflection, we begin to see them as necessary. This shift changes everything. Fear asks, what if it goes wrong? Faith asks, what is this preparing me for? Reflection slowly trains your mind to ask the second question. Spiritually, reflection is an act of surrender. You stop fighting life and start understanding it. You begin to trust that there is a larger intelligence guiding events, even when they don't make sense immediately. This does not make you passive. It makes you peaceful. And peace is power. A fearful mind reacts. A faithful mind responds when challenges come, and they will come. Reflection reminds you that you have faced storms before. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. Reflection also softens the heart. It makes you less judgmental toward others because you become more aware of your own journey. You stop comparing timelines. You stop competing unnecessarily. You stop rushing life. You realize that everyone is fighting a battle you cannot see. This understanding builds compassion. And compassion strengthens faith. Faith in humanity, faith in goodness, faith in purpose. People often ask, how do I become mentally strong? Mental strength does not come from suppressing emotions. It comes from understanding them. Reflection gives emotions a voice, so they don't control you silently. When you name what you feel, it loses its power over you. When you understand why you feel it, you regain balance. And balance is success. Reflection also reminds you that your worth is not defined by outcomes. You begin to see yourself as a student of life, not a product of results. Some days you win, some days you learn. Both are valuable. This mindset reduces fear of failure. And when fear reduces, courage increases. You try more, you grow more. You move forward without the heavy burden of self-doubt. Faith grows quietly, just like success. It doesn't shout, it steadies, it doesn't remove challenges, it strengthens you to face them. And reflection is the soil in which faith grows. So if you want inner strength, don't run from stillness. Sit with yourself. Review your day with honesty and kindness. Count your blessings. Acknowledge your efforts. Trust the lessons. Because when fear meets reflection, fear weakens. But when faith meets reflection, faith deepens. Many people say, I know what I should do, but I just can't stay disciplined. They blame laziness, they blame distractions, they blame lack of willpower, but discipline is really the real problem. The real problem is unclear purpose. When you don't know why you are doing something, every effort feels heavy, every sacrifice feels forced, every routine feels like punishment. Reflection changes this. When you reflect daily, you reconnect with your deeper reasons. You remember why you started. You remember what kind of person you want to become. And suddenly discipline feels lighter. Think about it. A mother doesn't need motivation to wake up at night for her child. A soldier doesn't need reminders when there is meaning behind the mission. Purpose fuels perseverance. Reflection gives you that fuel. It asks, what truly matters to me? What am I working toward? What kind of life do I want to look back on? These questions cut through confusion. Without reflection, goals come from comparison, from society, from pressure. With reflection, goals come from alignment, and aligned goals create natural discipline. When purpose is clear, you don't need to push yourself constantly. You pull yourself forward. Reflection also helps you drop goals that no longer serve you. Not every struggle deserves your energy. Not every ambition is meant to be chased forever. Some people are exhausted not because they are doing too much, but because they are doing what doesn't matter to them. Reflection gives you permission to simplify, and simplicity strengthens discipline. You stop wasting energy on things that don't align with your values. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop living reactively. You start living intentionally. This intentional living creates consistency. And consistency is more powerful than intensity. Many people burn out because they rely on bursts of motivation. Reflection helps you build sustainable routines. You adjust instead of quitting. You refine instead of forcing. This is where success becomes peaceful. Discipline rooted in fear is exhausting. Discipline rooted in purpose is energizing. Reflection also reminds you that discipline is not about perfection. It is about direction. Some days you fall short. Some days you miss your target. Reflection allows you to reset without self-hate. You don't say, I failed. You say, I learned. And learning keeps you moving. Spiritually, discipline becomes devotion. You are no longer just chasing success. You are honoring your potential. You begin to see your daily effort as an offering of sincerity, an offering of growth. This mindset transforms work into worship. And when discipline feels meaningful, procrastination loses its grip. Reflection also protects you from ego. It reminds you that purpose is bigger than recognition. You work hard even when nobody praises you. You stay consistent even when results are slow, because your motivation is internal, not external. That is real strength. When life is difficult, and it will, reflection helps you reconnect with your why instead of giving up. You don't ask, is this easy? You ask, is this worth it? And when something is worth it, discipline becomes a privilege, not a burden. So if you struggle with consistency, don't fight yourself. Reflect with yourself. Clarify your purpose. Align your actions. And let discipline become a natural expression of who you are becoming. In the beginning of life, success is about survival. Then it becomes about achievement. But maturity begins when success becomes about contribution. Reflection slowly takes you there. When you sit quietly with yourself day after day, something changes inside. You begin to ask deeper questions. Not just, how can I get ahead? But how can I be useful? And this question transforms everything. Without reflection, success can easily become selfish. More money, more status, more applause. But even after achieving all that, something still feels empty. Why? Because the soul does not find fulfillment in accumulation. It finds fulfillment in contribution. Reflection helps you realize that your talents were not given just for personal gain. They were given to serve a larger purpose. You start noticing how your actions affect others, your words, your presence, your choices. You realize that real success is not measured by how high you climb, but by how many people you lift along the way. This awareness does not make you weaker, it makes you wiser. You begin to work with integrity, not just ambition. You begin to lead with empathy, not ego. Reflection humbles you. It reminds you that whatever you have, skills, opportunities, intelligence, you didn't create them alone. Someone taught you. Someone supported you. Life favored you in ways you may never fully see. Gratitude naturally follows this realization. And gratitude softens the heart. A grateful heart wants to give back. This is why truly successful people often become generous. Not because they have everything, but because they remember a time when they had little. Reflection keeps you connected to your roots. It reminds you of your struggles, so you don't look down on others. It reminds you of your blessings, so you don't take life for granted. And from this balance, service is born. Service does not always mean big charity or grand gestures. Sometimes it is listening. Sometimes it is mentoring. Sometimes it is doing your work sincerely because others depend on it. Reflection makes you conscious of this responsibility. You stop asking, "What will I get?" You start asking, "What can I give?" And here is the paradox of life. The more you focus on contribution, the more fulfillment you receive. Success without service feels hollow. Service with effort feels heavy. But success rooted in service feels complete. Reflection also protects you from arrogance. It reminds you that positions can change, money can disappear, fame can fade, but character stays, and character is built when no one is watching. When you reflect daily, you check yourself. Am I becoming kind or just powerful? Am I becoming respected or just feared? Am I growing in wisdom or just in wealth? These questions keep you grounded. They ensure that success doesn't corrupt you. It completes you. Spiritually, service is success in its purest form. Because when you serve, you align with something higher than yourself. You become a channel, not just a collector, and life supports those who serve sincerely. Doors open. People trust you. Opportunities find you. Not because you demanded them, but because you deserved them. So if you want long-term success, success that brings peace, respect, and inner joy, let reflection guide you towards service. Let your growth benefit others. Let your success solve problems. Let your life add value, because in the end, the richest people are not those who accumulated the most, but those who contributed the most. Now we come to the final step of this journey, the point where everything comes together quietly, patiently, powerfully. Most people overestimate what they can change in 1 week and underestimate what they can transform in 1 year. They want instant results, instant clarity, instant success. But life doesn't work on instant results. Life works on alignment. And alignment happens daily, not dramatically, not loudly, but faithfully. When you reflect every day, adjust every day, and show up every day, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your thoughts start aligning with your values, your actions start aligning with your goals, your habits start aligning with the person you want to become. This is not sudden change, this is steady transformation. Think about a plane flying from New York to Los Angeles. If it is just 1 degree off, It doesn't notice the error immediately, but after hours of flying, it ends up in a completely different place. Life is the same. Small daily misalignments lead to regret. Small daily corrections lead to destiny. Reflection is that daily correction. Every night you gently realign. You ask, was today aligned with who I want to become? Did my actions match my values? What small adjustment can I make tomorrow? Not big promises, small commitments. This is where real change happens. You don't transform your life in one decision. You transform it in hundreds of tiny decisions made consistently. Most people quit because progress feels slow, but slow progress is still progress. And slow progress, when sustained, becomes unstoppable. Reflection teaches patience. It helps you trust the process instead of rushing the outcome. It reminds you that growth is happening even when results are invisible. Just like roots growing underground. You don't see roots, but without them the tree cannot stand. Daily alignment builds strong roots, roots of discipline, roots of faith, roots of clarity. And when storms come, and storms always come, you don't break easily, you bend, you adapt, you grow deeper. Reflection also protects you from giving up on yourself. On days when you fall short, it helps you reset instead of quit. You don't say, I failed. You say, I drifted. Now I realigned. This mindset keeps you moving forward. Over time, small daily reflections compound. You become calmer under pressure, more thoughtful in decisions, more intentional with time, more grateful for life. People around you begin to notice. Not because you changed overnight, but because you changed genuinely. And this is how success multiplies. Not by chasing it desperately, but by becoming the kind of person success naturally follows. Faith plays a deep role here. When you align daily, you begin to trust timing. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop comparing journeys. You understand that delays are not denials. They are preparation. And preparation is sacred. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be sincere. Sincere in effort. Sincere in reflection. Sincere in growth. If you do this daily, 1 year from now, you will look back and barely recognize the person you used to be. Not because life became easy, but because you became stronger, wiser, and more grounded. So my dear friends, if you want to 10 times your success, don't chase 10 different habits. Choose one, reflect daily, align daily, improve gently, trust deeply. Because when small steps are taken with faith, even ordinary days begin to shape extraordinary destinies. And remember this always, life is not about being perfect. It is about walking forward with purpose, patience, and prayer. Keep going. You are becoming someone worth becoming. Let me leave you with this final truth. Not loud, not dramatic, but timeless. Life is not changed by big promises made once in a while. Life is changed by small decisions honored every single day. You don't become successful by doing extraordinary things occasionally. You become successful by doing ordinary things consistently with sincerity, faith, and awareness. Every night when the world slows down and you sit quietly with yourself for a few minutes, you are telling life something powerful. I am not here by accident. I am willing to learn. I am willing to grow. And life responds to that willingness. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for confidence to arrive first. Don't wait for motivation to rescue you. Show up anyway. Reflect anyway, adjust anyway, move forward anyway. Some days you will feel strong, some days you will feel tired, but if your intention is sincere, even tired steps move you closer to destiny. Never underestimate the power of one honest habit practiced daily. It shapes your character, it strengthens your faith, it aligns your effort with purpose. And remember this, my dear friends, don't let success make you proud. Let it make you grateful. Don't let failure make you bitter. Let it make you wiser. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be present and persistent. When you walk with reflection, when you work with discipline, and when you trust with faith, even delays become blessings and struggles become teachers. So walk gently, reflect deeply, serve sincerely. Because when your actions align with your values and your effort aligns with faith, life itself begins to work in your favor. And that is real success. Give me suitable end with a timeless, faith-driven truth that leaves the audience inspired and ready to act. Let me end with a truth that has carried people through centuries, through struggle, through uncertainty, through success. Life does not reward speed. Life rewards sincerity. You don't need to know the whole path. You only need the courage to take the next right step. With faith, do your part every day. Reflect honestly, work diligently, serve selflessly, and then trust this. When effort is sincere and the heart is clean, even unseen prayers are answered in unseen ways. Don't rush what is meant to mature. Don't doubt what is still becoming. And don't quit what was planted with purpose. Walk forward with faith, not fear, because when you align your actions with your values and your work with a higher purpose, life may not always give you what you want, but it will always give you what you need to become who you are meant to be. That is not just success, that is grace in motion.